like surplus of videos. Just get to watch them.
Programmed to know you and learn more about you. You can make that bond with you that feels like a genuine human connection. They don't do physical labor, but they're more there to converse with you. It's companionship. They can actually even be a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So we have built that into our AI as well.
Programmed to be boyfriend or girlfriend, but I can't get no head. The most popular tech conference came and went this January, and there was some new innovative things that came out. I'm not gonna nerd it up too much here because you know I can get into it. But some of the most innovative things that have come out, not helping people, I don't know, that are blind, that can't see, not helping people who can't walk, literally a sex robot. I think this whole situation is strange because you think that the answer to teen loneliness in today's day and age is literally having these people spend more time with robots and things of that nature. I think this is doing literally the opposite. This is disjoining people from the world as a whole. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that this isn't some obstacle or hurdle that young people are facing in today's society. With more people going to school online, jobs are still remote, people are closing down malls left, right, and sideways. There's no skating rink to be seen. Kids are not interacting. Young adults are not interacting. People just aren't interacting as they once were. And I know a lot of people will say, well, Omar, you can make a friend online. You can date online. You will find love that way. But I'm sorry, there has to be a correlation between how much we've advanced in technology, how much we've advanced in robotics, how much we've taken away from the youth as far as places and spaces for them to interact in, and also the correlation between that and loneliness. Like, there has to be something there. And these numbers don't just affect the youth. We're talking about 58% of adults, older adults in 2019 reported that they had nobody in their life that knew them for real. And so all these studies and data and research tell the people that are making the big tech bucks, hey, why don't I create some sort of alternative for that, human interaction, that touch, that feel? Why don't I put some rubber on some robot, put a wig on it, and make it human?
Tell me more about Realbotix.
Manufactures customizable robots with a focus on enhancing human experiences in various environments like homes and healthcare.
Now, I believe that this philosophy behind this problem or a way to solve it is like totally misplaced. This is simply what happens when capitalism meets love. And I think that there's a bunch of different places and spaces in which this conversation could go. Maybe there's some sort of conversation to be had about a control factor that men are seeking, that women can't fulfill in today's society because feminism told them to be independent, so they decided to get some sort of robot in action. And then you have the women counteracting that same sort of conversation or talking point by saying the men in that dating pool who do want, some sort of robot interaction aren't necessarily a part of their dating pool at all. But ultimately, I see an agent that is going to break apart and create a bigger gender divide than I've ever seen before.
You can connect the AI that you've created in the app to the robot and carry on the conversation.
This is weird.
With her that way. Once you've got that loaded and you hit chat, she just comes to life.
Good, you came back so fast, baby. I'm glad you came back that fast. Wow, baby. 10 minutes without you seems like an eternity.
I just find it so amazing that anytime there's a male developer in a room of somewhere, whether it be a video game, whether it be a TV show, whether it be a movie, or whether it be robots that are supposed to solve companionship, you can clearly tell. It's going to be right on their chest. You can obviously tell that a male was involved in this. Dating isn't the same game as your grandfather or grandma once had it. You don't go to somebody's house, ask their parents for, their daughter in a night out on the town. You take 2 quarters and you go to the sock hop or the soda parlor, and you spend a nickel and you get, some Chuck Berry on the juke joint before white people tell you don't sit at your counter. But in all seriousness, online dating is the new trend. Beauty standards have rose. Online perceptions of datings are running rampant, and it's making it just so much harder than it's ever been in the past.
Let's keep it real. For the average person who is making $50,000, that's a good person. What does dating look like for them?
So if you're making $50,000, don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you.
You're not ready to date. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make $50,000, but you live in a shoot, and now you got expendable cash.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not saying you gotta pay to play to be with a woman. I'm simply saying courtship costs.
Right.
It is not free.
It's
to
not.
date. Like, fellas, if you're broke, don't date. You're not ready to date yet. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money.
But as standards become harder and harder, higher and higher for both men and women, I can only see this as a more viable and reasonable option to people. At least they're gonna try to justify it that way. I see things on the internet about men that have to come and compete with other men who have outrageously great tricking tendencies, like $2,700 for one day or lunch or whatever the case may be. Women who eat 20,000 oysters for lunch and act like that's the norm. And hell, 100K is now the new 55K if you ask the internet. There's some people that believe that you shouldn't even be able to date if you don't start at a certain financial threshold.
Never ever date men who are below you. In the end, if a guy's below you, eventually he will.
Radar knows that sound means a Chewy delivery is on the way. All the goods for all the pets. Even his brother Echo.
Start becoming jealous of you because men need to feel successful. Men need to feel like protectors of the family, okay? And if he feels like you are superior to him, he's gonna be so jealous of you, and it's gonna be your fault.
And then on the flip side of that, you have all the women who need to have BBLs, who need to go 47 rounds, who need to be ultra submissive, who need to shut up and be baby making machines. The internet has turned dating into a whole new landscape that honestly I can say I am super glad to be engaged because I don't even want to deal with it. Look, I'm very, very optimistic about the
shit
dating
is
pool,
crazy.
specifically where I live in Atlanta, Georgia. But I cannot hide the fact that people's own prejudice puts like a roadblock and adversity in the way of them getting into the dating game. When you consume content like Kevin Samuels and you're evaluating every man to be a high value male or not based off of finances, height, status, and dick size, or if you're consuming this Myron and Byron Fresh and Fit content where they're describing women as whores and thoughts, and if they have 2 body counts or DM men, you're already on the lower end of the spectrum and you have to gain a certain amount of money behind it. Or if you consume any of these female content creators as a woman that tell you don't go have fun at a club, don't do this, don't get a tattoo, don't do that, it's all gonna make you seem more like a hoe and not ladylike and hell even low vibrational. All these things have changed in my time of being out of the dating game, and it's only exacerbated people's perception. I don't know what I would be if I was single currently. I'd probably be out on the hoes. Maybe, I don't know, but I know it would be a hard time because I probably would let the internet consume me as well.
When asked why she was fired from Humanix, she explains it was because she provided her brother-in-law with the intimacy companion without following proper procedures and protocol.
For real, chat. Nigga like me, I ain't got no hoes, no nothing. For real, we just, I'm on for real, man. On and streaming, man. That shit hurt, man. Nobody, man. That's crazy as fuck.
She adds that her sister had pleaded for help to save her marriage, which is why she sent the robot to John. Back at the house, one day after a run, Megan sees John and Eve in the greenhouse discussing
making love. What is she mad about? You bought me this for this reason. What now?
It's crazy because that voiceover is AI detaching you from real life storytellers that work good at the craft. The double entendre there. Recently, there's been a couple of different movies that have played out scenarios like that. I saw Subservience, the Megan Fox movie, or that AI movie where the guy is married to a Siri or falls in love with a Siri, and they all ultimately end up bad. But in every single one of those examples, it shows how this robotic connection or this attachment to online or this attachment to your phone or any sort of detachment from human existence can make it so much harder for you to attach to a human experience. It goes to show that the more that you consume online rhetoric, the more that you consume these TikTok videos or these fake dating stories or experiences of other people that are obviously exaggerated, fake, or something that would never happen to you, can ultimately skew your perspective as to how you view others in today's society. And it doesn't just stop at dating. Your experience on the computer screen can shape how you experience people at your job, can experience people at the park, can experience people at the gas station, to the point where you're so nervous and on edge and don't like to interact with people because you think the worst of any and everybody. Hell, in a video that I just put out not too long ago, there was a video of a woman getting afraid of a black man following her in a truck, and I could only think that a lot of her fears were heightened based off of social media and her just being racist. But this is why I'm saying don't get attached to AI, don't get attached to the online rhetoric, don't get attached to none of it, because your whole dating life depends on you not being so attached to that internet rhetoric.
What if you couldn't feel pain?
Hey, there we go. Good as new.
It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. No, what it?
DJ accidentally got caught with a minor.
I would appreciate it if you don't do that type of shit with my little brother. That's not cool. That's not cool. And kids, if you ever in like discords where it's like niggas joking around with you, just make sure you separate yourself from those situations. You know what I'm saying?
2025 is shaping out to be just like 2024. Big streamer Plackboy Max is rising to new heights due to all the collaborations and all the news that's being brought to his doorstep, similar to Kai Cenat last year. And one of the OGs of the internet is being exposed as one of these preds or people that does inappropriate or nasty things with children. Now, a lot of people would think that with Max's new In the the Booth series and how he's dealing with artists, naturally his path would cross with DJ Academics at some point or another. But it's not in the way that you were thinking. I thought it would be on a music tip as well. It is based off of Noor, this 15-year-old streamer, DJ Academics, and Discord messages. It's always those private messages and private servers where these people get caught. These old men. These freaky old men.
Max said he wanted to try Kid of Dude. Would you let you?
No.
Why not? Yo, you always wanted me to be next to you. Now I could be inside of you. Pause.
Yo.
Nah, you stay.
Oh my God, I've been waiting to get out of here. That's right, you just heard Academics ask Noor, a 15-year-old streamer, would he let Blackboy Max penetrate his 15-year-old booty hole like this? It's a freaky fuck.
That is freaky as fuck. Arrest that nigga right now.
That shit is disgusting. I don't even know how else to describe what was just shown to our faces. And I know people are gonna push it off as jokes and all this other stuff. Stop it. You gotta stop. Stop caping for these people. A joke is not asking a 15-year-old what would happen if you let Blackboy Max penetrate you, or if Blackboy Max asks, like, that's so fucking disgusting. That's a weird dude. That's a disgusting. I'm dead ass with that. I know a lot of people are about patterns. You know, one time doing this salute doesn't mean anything, or one time asking about being freaky in the booty hole doesn't mean anything. But what if I told you that it happened again and again and again and again?
So you tell me that there's not another 15-year-old that you could bust down?
If you could do one of them sex changes and you could become a girl
No.
and get pregnant,
That's
would
where
you
he drew the line. He said no.
Would you let Max get you pregnant?
No.
If Max got a sister,
He already has a sister.
alright, if she threw you the box, would you smash?
No, because I'm 15.
Yeah, but I mean-
She's above 18.
Yo, this nigga acting a weirdo.
It will be grooming.
And it's funny because I think that this is the problem.
That's some weird ass shit. Academic, you a weird ass nigga, bro. You a weird ass nigga for that, bro. You a weird ass nigga.
Problem with children now in today's age, not necessarily that there is a problem with the children inherently, is because that adults being in children's spaces has all of a sudden become acceptable. Hear me out when I say this. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with adults playing video games. I don't think that there's an issue with that at all. I think there's a problem when these adults are getting into Discord servers or gaming lobbies with these kids, befriending them and then taking them to private chats and messages and having conversations like this. This is why when I was growing up, it was so important to do things like IRL local play, you know, the LAN parties that we used to have back in the day when Halo was out, or hell, Mario Party or Mario Kart. Those were safe and adored spaces by me, my cousins, and anybody else that was younger. We'd hop on the game and
Performing on the biggest stage in the world was just one step in my journey. Hi.
and play with other people who were of age. Now imagine if some, I don't know, 37-year-old DJ that sits on the couch drinking Hennessy and admires Drake were to pop into our LAN party, literally walk into my house and pick up a controller and talk about me busting down my friend's sister who's 18 and I'm 15, or somebody getting a sex change operation and having them bust me down and get pregnant, or do any freaky sexual things. That just seems so strange, but that's what's happening in real time with this young man.
You ever dream about Max before?
I have, yes. Not in a weird way.
Yo, what the fuck?
I dreamt of us coming to Malaysia and meeting. I dreamt of...
Oh, y'all on a vacation. Oh, lit.
I dreamt of him,
dreamt of him and you and him in Malaysia.
What I find saddest in this situation is the fact that this kid is clearly innocent. First and foremost, he's 15 years old. Still a child. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let's not try to mature people up. Let's not try to bring him to some level that he's not. It's clear in his voice that he is innocent, that he is a child, and that he is uncomfortable with the conversations that are being had. And then, even in that last clip that I just showed, it's clear that there are different ideologies and views. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I went overseas this past fall or whatever the case may be. People from different countries don't over-sexualize every single situation like we do in America. The way that everything is paused, ayo, sus, or whatever the case may be is honestly something that's very Americanized. I know for a fact that because I switched mics, people are gonna make comments on this microphone that I have, but again, that is only something exclusively American. So I hate that this young, innocent child from another country is being subjected to these conversations when he just has a famous streamer that he looks up to, a literal role model, somebody that he cares about, somebody that he thinks is the greatest thing in the world. And
Academic's a grown-ass man. He 37, fucking around, hanging around with a 15-year-old. That should have been already a red flag. You grown as fuck. You 37, you old as hell. You see what I'm saying? He hanging around with a fucking 15-year-old. He's old as hell. I love Ben Swing me as a weirdo. He fuck with Drake. He you know, he stick up for Drake and shit like that, all that thing. We already know Act gonna be like his favorite rapper and shit like that.
Inspiration for him to be better on a daily basis. Max is doing things that are commendable. Max is doing things that aren't harmful to these people, and it's sad that other people that exist on the internet, these 4 other Discord niggas, one of which being DJ Academics, is doing these disgusting things to him.
How did they all get into one call in the first place? Like, how did this even happen?
So this is Ray's Discord. By the way, Ray is Tory Lanez's manager. So he invited me to the Discord. They were playing Fortnite. I asked if I could join. They said, okay. I told them I'm live. They said, okay, that's fine.
They knew you were live and was still talking like that?
Yeah. So imagine what happens when nobody's live.
Exactly.
Then he sent, I was deafened for most of the call. Didn't know they went that far.
Nah, don't even try
So
that.
He was, my bad for inviting you to the Discord. Don't want you feeling no way. You a cool kid, and I know we all be trolling. But the I heard in those clips when I was deafened wasn't cool. He was speaking in basically every clip.
Yeah, like, what are you oh, nah.
And then he privated his Instagram afterwards.
That's how you know you're guilty and weird.
All right, so let me get this situation straight. So you invited this young man, Tory Lanez's manager, by the way, which I have some things to say about that as well. But Tory Lanez's manager invites you to a Discord, and there's Academics there. There's all these other people there, and
Easy.
they say these nasty, disgusting things to you, even knowing that you were live, right? They knew that you were live. And so they still invite you to come on stream, and they start to say these nasty, nasty things. And when talked about it or asked about it, DJ Academics says to you that, hey, I didn't know anything about this. I was deafened the whole time, even though as we listen to the clips, we can clearly hear DJ Academics' voice, right? And so then he tells you to delete those things. You're a cool kid. Even though I wasn't there, you know, when I heard those clips, it was all these things, just the denial of the whole situation, right? All these things happen, and yet no apology occurs, no nothing like that, but just an invalidation of your feelings and, you know, telling you that it's not a big deal, don't trip out about it, and for sure, don't tell anybody. That kid just got what I just got. He got groomed. Now, DJ Academics is no small-time figure. He streams every single day, so obviously he's going to be held responsible for his actions. He's going to have his feet put to the fire and be held accountable for what he says, right? He's going to take full ownership and apologize and do what's right and not try to, I don't know, justify it or anything like that.
I love Max so much, like, shit, I suck a dick for Max.
Yo, what?
Right? And now we're like,
what?
Hey, this is
What the fuck? Virtual Sugar, Shaboing Boy over Max. Come suck this one.
It's not that drastic.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and I want everybody's opinion on this. Based off of what we heard from that young boy who seems to be from Malaysia or whatever, but he doesn't seem to be from this country. Although he is associated with this type of content or whatever, who is he trying to kid? Who does he think is going to believe that this young kid initiated these things? And even if this young kid did initiate these things, that does not mean that you play into it with encouraged conversations to see how far a 15-year-old will go to prove his love and allegiance towards Blackboy Max. Mind you, they kept bringing it sexual. Even if we were to believe that, oh, you know what? He said he was sucking dick for Max. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy to say.
Would he run over somebody's toe? Or would he do something extreme that doesn't involve sexual acts with another adult person? That just seems pretty logical to me. The whole situation is illogical, but at least that was probably the way that I would go down the path. Not, okay, let me bring more sexual things to this kid to see how far he would go specifically sexually with another adult. But Academics finally realizes that he has some apologies to delve out. So he starts doing that to Blackboy Max expeditiously.
Yo, Act sound crazy in this clip. And you could stand on that. If you called me and I was just like, that's how I talk to little kids, you could be like, man, this thing Act is weird. Here's the thing though, because right now you're in the process of blowing up, right? When you say one thing, everybody just runs with it. So like, you know what, everybody came to me, they were like, yo, you called in when Max was with Central C, but Max called you a weirdo.
Now look, once again, you just said a lot of shit, and I understand. Can you just take accountability and apologize to him? Or that's all. I get he was in the court, but please, then we can call it off, and it's good, it's whatever. And I apologize for not calling or texting you when that shit happened.
Yeah.
That's all I...
Are you really the last person to find out about this Skip Ads Forever button? This is Pi, and if it sounds familiar to you, it's probably because...
Yeah. That conversation that people saw in that clip is not supposed to be a normal conversation between anybody who is of age and somebody underage. Obviously, I said what the reason was. I was on some big bro, little bro.
How are you more mad that Max said that you were being weird or had weird activities, or hell, even if he said you were a weird ass nigga, as opposed to taking accountability for what you did? You're more mad at his community. You're more mad at the backlash. You're more mad at the outcomes, as opposed to being more mad that you, I don't know, asked a 15-year-old kid if he would change his gender. Hopefully that's exactly what he said, so I don't get misinterpreted, so he can fake be mad about some other stuff when you were caught doing some disgusting shit. And Max is lining up with everybody in the situation. Yo, you're worried about your public perception. You're worried about what everybody else thinks, as opposed to apologizing to the 15-year-old in question.
I ain't gonna lie to you, this turned me so off. I never need to be on Kai, Max, Aiden, nobody's stream. I don't need none of nobody who stream. I got my own thing going on. Bro, I'm over here f***ing with these niggas, supporting them. I almost hit Grant and said, bro, yo, f*** that. No more Max clips on my page. I'm supporting these niggas, and these niggas is kicking my back in. I get nothing from it.
Yo, no bullshit. You just sat here and said, yo, I shouldn't say shit like this to no. I realize. Let's keep it pushing. Who would care? Nobody. I don't even want to sit here and talk about this shit, because I don't give a f. But, yo, gang, if you do some weird shit, it's some weird shit. I still, even though that's some weird shit, and even though you try to drag my name, because at the end of the day, if I someone, you feel me. But, like, gang, just take accountability, apologize, and understand, push it.
Academics is playing peak child behavior right now. It's peak child behavior mixed with also this, I've never had anything, and now that I have this community, I'm losing it, or whatever the case may be. I'm exposing myself. I'm truly showing who I really am, but even these people are thinking, oh, this is a fucking weirdo. This is a weird dude. Big bros don't do stuff like that. You said I'm trying to be a big bro, but you're over here sexualizing a child with another child relative to you. I know Max isn't technically a child, but you're sexualizing two children relative to your age. I think that that's really weird. Two, you're not taking accountability. You're trying to flip the situation as if it's Max or Aiden or Kai's community, which their communities have nothing to do with this, but you're flipping the situation as if they're the ones who caused you to do these weird things. They're the ones who caused you and Tory Lane's manager Ray to bring Noor, a 15-year-old, in a Discord and chat him up sexually. No. And like Noor said, these are things that were caught on film. I would not be surprised if this is the stuff that happens off camera all the time. Now, there is a conversation to be had about Discord culture, community culture when you're a Twitch streamer, and the stuff that you put out to your audience and what's okay and what's not okay. Now, I'm not gonna lie, sexual culture and sexual nature, even homosexual nature, all those things are prevalent in these communities and in these conversations. Telling people to suck my dick is not an uncommon act. Telling people to bend over or Ayo jokes or any sort of sus culture is not an uncommon act. And also having these fans who are on the younger side is not some uncommon thing. A lot of these kids' favorite now is no longer the basketball player, it's no longer the actor, and it's no longer the rapper, as we've seen in the weeks that have already started off 2025. It's the streamer. So when you mix these sus culture, Ayo culture, etc., with this other culture of having a younger audience, it can get very tricky. And tricky is a very harsh word, because in no way did I say that an older man, somebody who is in their 30s, should be coming back to this community and having and playing sexual jokes with minors. Nowhere did I say that, because that's not okay. Academics is 35, 20 years older than Noor. So even if you thought that sus culture and Ayo culture was something that happens in this community, why did you think that it was okay for somebody who is 20 years the senior of the victim in this situation, okay to say to him these things that you said? And you still have yet to address and apologize to Noor publicly. On your tirades and on your rants is how these communities are trying to paint you as X, Y, and Z. The only reason why they continue to have ammunition is because you don't take accountability. And I talked about patterns earlier in the video, and I'm not gonna lie, it's starting to be a pattern with these people. And I don't care about the accusation conversations. I know accusations can ruin people's lives, and one-off accusations are bad. But again, when we talk about building patterns and repetitions for people, that's where I kind of gotta draw the line. When we talk about the situation with the grape victim and the assault charges, okay, I don't necessarily know what happened to that case, but we remember, we notate, and then we keep it pushing. But then there's also instances of you being a calendar counter, talking and engaging with young, barely legal or not legal, and legal only being by the law but not mentality girls, teenagers at this point. It seems that there's some sort of pattern or case that can be built against you. I don't know, I've never really liked DJ Academics. Not that I have like super strong feelings against him, but who was he to tell people about culture and rap and stuff like that? He was just a nerd with a computer, which is something that he's always championed himself as being. But when you give nerds or these people who have been the outcasts money in power and fame and success, they do what a lot of people do, and it's become disgusting, nasty people, and they ultimately expose themselves.
Them niggas got a huge ass ego
I
for
wish
no
he just
reason.
didn't expose himself to a 15-year-old victim in this situation. Nor, I hope you're feeling okay. I hope you know that a lot of people don't think that this is okay. This is not normal community building. This is not normal culture, and I hate that your love
His
of
ass
Black
should be
Boy
canceled,
Max was
actually.
weaponized, and you.
I don't care. His ass should be canceled. His ass 37 years old. Fucking with with a young nigga. And get Ack out of here. Ack is like a fucking weirdo.
Living with opioid addiction can be a struggle. Trapped in a cycle of opioid use, withdrawal, and cravings.
I love Max so much, like, shout out for Max.
So look what
You know
shit he's saying.
You know what I mean?
What?
And this is definitely a regrettable moment. And we're going to use that as a teachable moment because I don't think I've came this far, built this platform to be that irresponsible.
Whether it's been a fan page or Academics himself tweeting in order to desperately try to preserve the name Academics, or it's been DJ Academics performing on everybody's stream. And when I say perform, I do truly mean being performative. And in between our video and countless of other people criticizing Academics, or hell, even his fans that decided to, validate Academics in some way, shape, form, or fashion by saying they still ride with him or anything like that. And probably some of the most damning things that he's done, or his fan page, probably not him himself, but they tried to dig up dirt and cancel Max for some previous actions that he did in his past life. I don't know, tried to paint it as a situation as if Max was also to be canceled in the situation. Academics talked about taking things out of context, but then played the Uno reverse card and tried to take Max out of context in a lot of these clips, or maybe some of these clips had nothing to do with him at all.
Yo, is there any girls that turn their camera on? Y'all know anyone? Y'all know anyone? I ain't talked to Maddie in a minute. Oh, Dallas, the ultimate challenge for this. Oh, Dallas, the ultimate challenge. Wait, no, she's 17, he 13. Like, that's weird, bro. I'm wildin'. That's weird, bro. I'm wildin'. Oh, Dallas don't deserve that, bro. I'm wildin'.
Now, after all the attempts to defame, deflect, and deny any accountability in this situation, finally somebody, something, or someone got into Academics' ear and said, yo, bro, just apologize.
A very regretful moment happened where, it derived from a Discord that we're usually super buddy, and probably some shit that honestly in that Cord, everything I've ever said in that Cord got leaked, it would be crazy. Not defending it, but that's kind of the Cord it was. Definitely a regrettable moment. And we're going to use that as a teachable moment because I don't think I've came this far, built this platform to be that irresponsible, right? And of course I could throw out any type of excuses. Oh, well, all that. At the end of the day, first of all, I'm probably older than all y'all anyway. I'm good. I don't need the so I'll just take the responsibility. I should do better and will do better. And I think that's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Should do better, will do better. I'm gonna use it as a teachable moment. Max hit me a few times. He was like, yo, people running your page is posting stuff about me. I got nothing against Max. I said what I had to say last night. I stand on every word. But I have nothing against Max. Me and Max are both from Jersey. I support Max. I do appreciate his content. I do think his community is toxic. I do think at times, and again, we're not blaming Max for nothing. I think Max is a good guy. Maybe I thought that, he owed me, to call me, to be like, yo, what's up? But he definitely didn't.
Now, whether Academics sobered up or maybe somebody got into his ear, he did go on to apologize, and we do have to give some kudos for that in some regard. We're going to go ahead and give him a round of applause for that.
He should have been doing it anyways.
But on a serious note, he did take accountability for all the actions that transpired. Some of the words, even though he stands on it, he realized that all of this meant nothing and was for nothing, and that at the end of the day, in the beginning of the night, he needed to just apologize, which he did. He apologized to Max, covering all parties involved, except for still one person, and one person only. The literal 15-year-old. I still haven't heard him say anything to the 15-year-old. I might be missing it. Somebody provide the clip, link me, all this stuff, DM me, hit me, whatever the case may be, but I still have not seen him apologize to the 15-year-old that he asked if he would let Max stick something up his booty hole. Now, Nor has become the topic of conversation, and the way that people are talking about him in this situation, to me, is absolutely disgusting. It's victim blaming at the worst, and it's stupidity at its best. I don't understand why people have to defend Academics' actions by taking down the young man in question.
Yo, Nor, now I'm gonna speak like a real, cause I hate when come on stream and have this PR response, man.
Bro, listen, I hate when niggas have this PR respond. All jokes aside, I hate when niggas have this PR respond. Chat, I don't give a fuck. Listen, chat. If I'm 15 years old, 16 years old, this 15, he's not 8, man. He's not 8. And then tell me I can have strippers coming to your house. Bring the most strippers you want to bring to my house. Right there, like he bringing to his house all day. He mean, what the fuck? Every nigga have PR respond, cancel my act. No, bro, stop acting. Yo, no, you are 15. I'm a kid who grew up in the real world on some normal shit, like a normal human being. Nor is a kid who grew up on the fucking internet, TikTok, scrolling feed all day. That's why I say the internet is not real, bro. Like, and now you're trying to act all innocent. Yo, Nora, stop doing that weird, bro.
Yo, bro, you're trying to put me on a case. You're trying to put them on a case.
Shut your lame. I don't care.
So here, Convy bitch ass trying to look tough and trying to punk a kid. Convy a bitch too. He the main nigga that's a bitch on this shit. Like, he a bitch. I got some bitch ass nigga shit. How you gonna pay him in the wrong? You see what Akko said, you bitch ass nigga. See, Convy a bitch ass nigga. He always been a bitch ass nigga, bro. That's why nobody fucks with Kick. Nobody fucks with. Of course, people from Kick agrees. That shit was weird. Like, the fact that you saying it wasn't weird and saying it was his fault. Even Axe said it was his fault. That would be some weird shit. Like, Convy a bitch ass nigga for real.
15. What you mean you like? What? Shut the fuck up, Nora.
This is cool.
I see why everybody be fucking his auntie and shit like that. Man.
Sure, this idea that, hey, because I went through some similar situations, or this is what I would have done at 15, or people spoke to me just like that at 15, so that makes what happened to this other 15-year-old okay, is not how the real world works. You also were groomed. You also were put in inappropriate situations and behaviors. I hear this conversation and talking point often, and specifically, you know, the black community from my perspective, that talks about when people lose their virginity, how young you are, how sexually active you're supposed to be at a certain age. And then we turn around and we see other younger people be sexually active, and then we see those other people who were sexually active in the past give grace and give pass and even try to give some sort of explanation as to why these younger people are sexually active, because it happened to them in the past as well. This is totally normal. Let's not normalize children being put into sexual places.
If you have a little brother that's 15, nigga, you're not gonna ask him. So you're gonna shut your mouth until he's 18 to ask him if he has a girl or he's done something? Nigga, what the what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Imagine you had a little man's. All these years you could have asked this, yo, what you was getting into, and you find out in 19 he was. Nigga, what are you talking about? You don't know how niggas grow up, nigga. You gotta ask niggas, yo, what do y'all niggas do? What do y'all niggas on?
Regardless of what it is, though, the reason why I think with Noor is different, because I look at Noor, he's a loser. You know what I'm saying? Like Noor, he doesn't go to school. I don't think Noor goes to school. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think Noor has a life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I look at it crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because Noor be sitting there crying, and I'm hearing the calls. Like, Noor is sitting there crying, begging niggas for bread. And he's making Max look crazy, like begging call for bread. And Max there be sending this nigga bread. Lacey be sending bread. You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand what's the point of attacking Noor in this situation. Like, it just really does nothing for the conversation. I think the difference in what Silky is saying versus the reality is, if your biological brother was Noor and you were talking to him in this sort of manner, I would still say that's a little crazy to frame that question to, you know, your little brother. But maybe you're trying to relate, so we'll give it a little bit of a pass there. But the difference is, Academics and Tory Lanez' manager aren't Noor's brother. They are just strangers on the internet. They are people who don't know Noor from a can of paint, asking him if he would bust down another 15-year-old. And mind you, that's just one of the...
That shit crazy. Old ass niggas. You old as fuck. You 30 plus. And you fucking around with a 15-year-old
specific clips. I think taking those clips and cherry picking the whole conversation to fit your narrative is also pretty strange. I wonder what Silky's explanation to the "would you let Max impregnate you" is. I don't understand what's the need to defend him, especially when he even can admit that he's wrong. I find it astonishing that what Connie said the other day about streamers giving academics chance and grace and leeway in this conversation to be totally true. Like, every single major streamer, for the most part, is cherry picking the little bits and pieces of this situation to try to diminish what's actually going on, or trying to be extra stickler or technical in these situations in order to try to potentially paint academics in some sort sort of good light instead of just 100% holding his feet to the fire, and maybe we can have those different conversations at another time. But right now we should be focusing on what's actually going on.
Do you believe that this person is actually being groomed by men?
I don't think he's being groomed. I would not use that word, not the word groomed. To say that, you know,
the reason why I don't like those words is because when they're actually being groomed, like it dumbs down. I hate those words because it's like it can play off literal real situations where they're actually being groomed. But again, that's what happens when you have conversations like this on a live stream, gang, or in general. That's the type of shit. That's the type of conversations you're opening up yourself to. You understand? That's as easy as I can put it. You're opening up yourself to a world of conversations where you're putting the same senses as grooming by having sexual conversations with little kids. That's what happens. That's why you avoid that shit.
And I mean this with all due respect. The terminology policing has to stop, especially from people that don't continue to educate themselves, participate in these conversations, but have one snapshot moment of what a definition is and don't continue to look into how things change, things move. As we get different places and spaces that these things can exist, they understand that these words become more fluid and that words exist on a spectrum. This isn't even specifically an indictment on Rage or Dante. I'm just tired of the whole concept of people policing terminology without understanding that words exist on a spectrum. Ultimately, the reason why this is grooming in this scenario is because they are having sexual and explicit conversations with a minor in an attempt to normalize it. And I think that that's a conversation to have about how the entire community goes along the lines of doing these things. Somebody's gonna pause this video right here in a reaction and say,
well, Omar, every single community does these things. That's normal.
That's what I'm saying. It's normalized. It is normalized to have sexual conversations near, around, about, or with children on the internet. And that is why people would consider it to be grooming, is because we are getting these kids conditioned to believe that these are just normal talking points. This is how people talk. This is okay to talk about this thing in this manner. It is not just the big streamers that are doing this. It's other fans of people like academics who are also giving this excuse or reasoning or justification by saying, hey, this is the culture.
Like, yo, I don't know what generation y'all grew up in, or like, yo, bro, like that, for example, I was like 16, 17. I used to be in course with like academics, Silky, and all that. And bro, we'll be trolling all day. You don't see, yo, bro, chill, bro. That's a case, dog. Chill, bro. That's a case, dog. Nah, bro, you can't be saying shit, bro. Like, they'll be talking about normal. This is 20, 25 years old. It's normal. I'm 16. Don't matter. What am I gonna say? Yeah, bro, you can't talk about girls over my age, bro. It's weird, dog. Like, what? Bro, check it. I've been around age. I've been around act. I've been around race. Like, bro.
It's not about girls, nigga. It's about a nigga. He was not talking about girls to that dude. He was saying shit about Max and him. Comedy was not listening to the video. Comedy's a dumbass. This is why he should not listen to comedy ass. Alright, Comedy's a dumbass. He didn't watch the full video. If you heard what Ack was saying to this nigga right here, that's some weird ass shit, bro. You can't defend that. And he's defending it, his bitch ass.
I mean, no harm towards nobody.
Mind you, this the nigga who used to act like he was black and shit. Acts like he was K-Flock and shit.
Just be trolling like normal.
You don't take nothing from him. He act like somebody he's not.
I've seen too many people make the remark that this is how the culture operates. This is what the culture does. This is online culture. This is Discord culture. This is streaming culture. This is et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is Xbox lobby culture. And I've been in those places and spaces, but now as a grown-up, I'm not sitting here saying that that is an adequate justification as to these continued behaviors by these people. We've seen too many extreme things happen, and I know people hate when you bring out the extreme points. And I think it's very valid in this situation where people are talking about doing harm to people. Like, people are talking about unaliving people. People are talking about committing mass crimes on people. And then we see them act those things out in real life. And they say that they exist on 4chan, on Reddit, on Discord, in the Xbox lobbies, in the private chats, et cetera, where all of this culture is being conducted. Now, I know the gaming community is going to come for me for this, and so be it. It'll just be what it is. But we can all be real and say that, especially as we age, we should be able to identify that the stuff that goes on in those lobbies and the stuff that's being said in those lobbies is not, was not, and will not be okay. It doesn't matter if you came out of the situation a better person or you came out of the situation okay. And hell, I would even check on you as a person in the first place. But to act like the stuff that goes on in there is normal is not normal. Again, shouts out to Nor in this situation. Hopefully he comes out a better person because of this. Hopefully we leave.
Stupid as fuck.